Hello and welcome back. This is Ice Cold Sanity, and this is a second part to What If Deku had shadow manipulation. Where we last left off, he was talking to All Might about Dagobah Beach thing. Before All Might and him separate, Izuku says one more thing. Do you mind if I bring a friend to train with us? And All Might says, no, I don't mind at all. But do you think your friend could be trusted with the secret of All for One? And One for All? Izuku says, yes. She would be one of the best people to share a secret with. And All Might got curious and says, why? Well, she's my closest friend. But she is very... Ooh, sorry about that. Okay. She's very nice and kind and wouldn't share a secret to anyone. And plus, I'd probably end up telling her anyway. No, I said, well, then that's fine with me. See you tomorrow at Dagobah Beach. And then they separate. Zuko goes back to Mina, who was wondering what was going on. And Zuko just said, Bakugo got himself trapped in the sludge moon and I had to help him. And all of a sudden, he just says, oh yeah, and also, All Might wants to train us. And Mina says, why would he want to train me too? Because I told him I might be bringing a friend along. If I can train him, I want to train you too. Mina says, awesome. And the next day, after they went home and everything, Zuko is outside of Mina's house, knocks on the door, because he knows where she lives and everything and blah blah blah. He knows her parents and stuff, blah blah. Same with Mina knowing Inko Midoriya. Yep. So, and Mina comes to the doors and Zuko says, you ready? And Mina says, yep. And they head off to Dagobah Beach to meet up with All Might. And Zuko walks up to All Might and says, hey. Mina says, who's that? Zuko says, come over here. Mina says, okay. And Zuko says, this is All Might. And Mina says, I'm pretty sure All Might's buffer, taller, and pretty much the exact opposite of him. And Izuku said, I assure you, it's All Might. And All Might says that, yes, yep, I am All Might. I may not look it, but it's because of an injury, showing her the injury and blah explaining. Yay. And Mina, and then, no, before Mina says anything, All Might says, well, can you keep this a secret? And Mina says, yes. And they start cleaning up Dagobah Beach. That is Izuku and Mina and stuff. And they both get pretty strong with Izuku's shadow manipulation. And Mina's acid, it made it a lot easier. Mina broke things down for acid, making it easier to, or melted things down with her acid, making it easier to get rid of it. And Izuku just beat the hell out of it with tendrils of shadow tendrils, as well as making shadows pick it up for him some of the time when it was too heavy for him. But he still lifted a lot. When it was too heavy for him, I mean when he couldn't move a single centimeter from pushing, pulling, or anything. So he still got fairly buff, and he always worked out with Mina. And by himself sometimes. So 6 months later, he and Mina finished cleaning Dagobah Beach. And All Might said the famous line. Oh wait, no, he said, now you are ready to receive one for all. They said to receive one for all, you had to ingest some of my DNA. And he plucks a strand of hair from his head and said, eat this. As Izuku looked at him like he is crazy and said, I mean, I'm a fan, but I'm not that big of a I'm not a crazy fan. And All Might just said, no. It's the easiest way to ingest my DNA. Izuku said, oh. And Izuku, even though recoiling at the thought of it, ate it because it would give him the power. And Mina said, "It's still disgusting." And Izuku said, "I know." But after that, then like the next day, him and All Might and Mina were were training on battle, and since Izuku got All For One, he trained a little on controlling it, but since he already knew how to manipulate his shower to go all the way around him, it didn't take that long for him to figure out how to get the aura of One for All around his body. He was able to use max. You know how it was 8% in the beginning. Yeah, shoot that down. And by shoot that down, I mean get rid of that number. It's stupid. It's too low. He could use 10%. And if you say, what's the difference? That's barely any increase. 8% compared to 10%. Let's say 1% was equal to a let's see. A was the same as C4, a small little C4. It's a pretty big explosion, but it's not that big. Now 8%, that's like 8 C4. Well, that corrects quite the punch, but add 2 more and that's way more power. Something like that. I don't know any good things. Okay. But yeah, still 10% and stuff. And then Zuku was still, and All Might was trying to think of new ways for Ashido or Mina, whatever. I'm just gonna say Mina, to learn how to use her quirk. And Zuko was trying to what is it? What is he trying to do? Oh, he's trying to find new ways to use his quirk after showing All Might some other abilities like you know what? Screw it. He can shadow walk. Huh? That's overpowered. I don't give a shit. But it has a limitation, the shadow walk thing. And some of you who don't know what shadow walking is, it's basically he walks into a shadow and he appears in a different shadow at a different shadow. The limitation is distance. Because how good control depends the distance depends on how good of control he has. So right about now he could say teleport from his house to no, not that far yet, but from one side of the beach to the other. And you say, that's not that far. The beach is actually pretty big. But whatever. And Deku learned a lot of stuff, and whatever, anything else I want to add, I can just say he learned it. So be prepared for me to throw out random things. I might not, I might. But I'm throwing out one more thing before I forget it. He also learned how to make his shadow have a sharp blade hand like thing. So he can use it to cut something. And Mina also learned how to use her acid to depending on what she wants it for, dissolve something into just vapor, or basically water. That's the type of control she has over it. So she control the intensity depending on what it's for. So like if she was trying to get someone out of the rubble, she could have the acid dissolve. But it won't harm the person. Basically being able to control what material it can dissolve. Yay. But to the entrance exams, because all the 10 months is over. And they just go the entrance exam. Of course, Izuku and her get pretty much first place in the written exam. Well, Izuku gets first place, she gets second place. Izuku with 100% because he's still smart. As he does study a lot and note take a lot. I mean, yeah, so, and Mina trains with him, and he also wouldn't stand for having a stupid best friend. So he also helped her study. And no, don't take it that way. Study as an actual school study. Now that I got that out of the way because my brain had to say something about it. They go to the practical, sitting down. This one Well, I just got done doing the other what if, so I'm still fairly pissed at Ida. If you want me to explain why. When I make a character that I hate them. Ida's one of those characters where I can either love the hell out of them, because he's just Ida, or just hate him. But yeah, okay. I think this one will make Ida less of an asshole, maybe. Whatever, I'll just go with it. Whatever I think up. But, as President Mike's talking, he says, there's going to be 1-pointers, 2-pointers, and 3-pointers. And he was about to explain something when Ida stood up and said, if there's another robot on this paper, it would make UA look bad if they forgot an important detail. And you two over there, stop talking, stop mumbling to each other. You're not going to take this seriously. You shouldn't be here. Izuku is maybe cheery in this one, like normal. But he doesn't take crap from anyone. So, Izuku says, mind your own business and sit down. And if you would have waited a couple seconds, the big, loud blonde would have explained the 0-pointer. So stop being a prick, a rich prick, and sit down, Tenya Ida. This freaks Ida out because, and he says, how do you know my name? And Izuku says, how should I not? You're from the famous the famous Tenya, or Ida's, I don't know, Tenya family or whatever. That's not what Izuku says. Izuku says the proper name, but yeah. And you're Ingenium's little brother. I don't think your brother would like it if he knew his brother was just a prick who called out everyone else for no real reason. And Ida got pissed because Ingenium's not hurting or anything yet, but it's his brother. So, yeah. And Ida says, you have no right to tell me what my brother would think. And Izuku says, just shut up and sit down. And Ida, scoffing, sits down, and then President Mike says, thank you, green-haired kid. Now, every I was I was about to explain the zero pointer. It's just an obstacle. Just it's best to avoid it at all costs. And then they were separated into their zones. Mina and Izuku somehow got the same zone. I don't care how they separate it. Let's just say they got in the same zone. But Izuku and Mina staying in front of the gate, ready to go. And as soon as the gates opened, they ran. And everyone else said, "They're cheating." President Mike said, "No, they're not. Real heroes don't take uh don't aren't told when to fight in a real battle. So go follow them." Whatever the hell he says, I can't remember. But yeah, something along those lines. And and over a course of some time, they separate and they rack up a lot of points. Izuku getting about 400, having actually let's just say between Izuku and Mina, they destroyed about 75% of the robots, with Deku destroying most of them, getting around, I want to say 500, yeah, 550 points, and Mina got around 490. By 490, I mean 490 points. And actually, they were both fighting together. They didn't split up or anything. And then from the viewing window or whatever the hell it was, the observation tower, I think, they saw it, and there was, it's like, we're gonna have to tell them to stop, otherwise there's not gonna be enough robots for the rest of them. And over the announcements, green-haired boy and pink-haired girl, can you please stop? You've got enough to pass. Just leave some robots for the others so they can at least have a chance. Something like that. And Suku and Minas were like, "Ah, nice." And they both decided to scale a building. How? Izuku just uses quirk like a spider thingy clawing up the building. And how do you think that's gonna coming out of his back? Because he can attach it to his body so it lifts him up with it. So yeah, something like that. He can do that. He could also make wings. Yeah. But this time he specifically decided for a spider. because he didn't know if he could lift with the wings or eat with enough force to carry both of them. So he picked up Mina and climbed to the top of the building. And they both sat up there, waiting. And all of a sudden, a huge shake. It was like an earthquake, or a mini earthquake. Everything started shaking, and there was just a big boom. And Zuko and Mina looked over as I was about to crush a group of students. Zuko said, "Ready, Mina?" And Mina said, "Yeah." And Zuko just say it. The reason for him using the arachnid legs earlier was just because he wanted to use the wings, shadow wings, and picked up Mina. And flew over to Zero Pointer, and he let go of her up on top of the Zero Pointer and told her to make sure you get your acid inside between the metal plates to disintegrate those wires. It should stop it, and if it doesn't, I'll be able to restrain it for a short while. Enough for them to run away. And he hops down, and he latches onto the thing with tendrils of shadow tendrils wrap all the way around the thing, keeping it still. Well, Mina pours so much acid that it breaks the entire circuit inside. And if you want to know what I mean by circuit, I mean the connection of wires. That's it. But, yeah, and then the robot stops working, and Zuko brings it down slow, has one of the tendrils grab onto Mina and puts her down, and then he lets the Zero Pointer down slowly as not to cause too much of a problem. And that's pretty much it for that. Then they both walk home together, and Zuko dropped her off at her house, and he walked back to his. And the next day, or a few weeks after, when Mina and Zuko got their letter, Zuko called Mina and says, "Have you opened your letter yet?" And Mina said, "No, I was waiting for you." She said, "Great, I'll come over." And he comes over to open his letter with Mina. He says, "You go first." And Mina opens her letter. And it was Aizawa. Aizawa says, "Welcome to class 1A. You passed with 490 points, hero are villain points. Or hero points, or whatever, the fighting points. But there was a hidden portion of the exam for you, and you assisting Izuku Midoriya in fighting the Zero Pointer to save the group of people near it. You got 100 rescue points. So your total score is 590 points, giving you second place. And as well as for the written portion, you also got second place. Congratulations on your enrollment into UA. And then poof, it exploded. Yay. Zuko opened his. It was All Might. It says, I am here to tell you that you are in Class 1A, with being having the highest score in the hero, or in the entrance exam, being first place in the written, and having 550 points in points of hero or villain points, whatever it was, and as well as for helping with teaming up with Mina Ashido to save a group of kids from a Zero Pointer. You received 100 rescue points. With a total of 650 points, you got first place in the. You got first place overall. Welcome to your Hero Academia, or whatever the hell he says. And there goes poof, yay, and blows up too. And they both were so excited. They just bursted with joy because they were in the same class, and they both got in, both being first and second in the hero or whatever, the entrance exam. Next day, the first day of UA, they go in and Izuku and to see Bakugo and Ida fighting. Surprise. Watch. Bakugo says what he says, and Izuku not really liking either of them, based on first initial thing. Decides to use his shadow to make them unable to move. And how is he doing this? I'll explain. Part of shadow manipulation that I got from Shinimaru, or whatever the ninja was that can control quirks from Naruto. It doesn't matter what his name is, but he can control their shadow and manipulate, which manipulates the object by connecting to shadow, because he can control it. But it's not like he can straight up control it, because the person can fight back against it, but they have to be really strong. So Izuku stops them in their track by connecting his shadow to theirs and making them stop. And Izuku said, "Why don't you two just shut up already? Stop bickering." They both shut up as Izuku let go of them, and Ida decides to sit down. And Izuku said, "I'll sit down in a sec. You go sit down talking to Mina." And then Izuku walks over to a yellow a yellow caterpillar, and picks it up and starts shaking it. Not violently, just enough to wake him up. Aizawa, being surprised, says, "What the? Uh, who woke me up?" And Izuku said, "I did." Actually, no. Scratch back. So I was like, huh? Zeus says, "Wake up, late. Wake up already." The whole class is here. And he gets up. Although he wasn't really sleeping, he says, wait, no, we're starting." He just picks up his own and says, "Get up, late. Get up and teach already." And Daizawa stands up and does his usual thing where it says, "Took you 8 minutes to shut the hell up," or whatever. I don't care anymore. This is getting stupid to repeat over and over again. But, then he just says, "Put on lays and go to field E," or whatever the hell. And if you're not there in a certain period of time, in 10 minutes, you'll be, or if you're not there and if you're not there in 10 minutes, you will be, expelled. Everyone rushes. Zuko and Mina just start walking, and Zuko knows exactly where it is, and Shadow walks with Mina. Yes, he can take people along on a shadow walk. And about halfway there, because it's long, and then he shadow walks again, getting to the by the locker rooms first, or well, actually, he can only do it once because, well, I'll just say for convenience, he just does it once. Then, walking over the rest of the way with Mina, Mina goes into the girls' changing room, which people are already there, pretty much. And Izuku gets in there, and everyone, and then Izuku changes into the sports uniform, and well, before he gets to do that, Mineta, the ugly, disgusting grape, finds the peephole, or whatever, and starts describing Mina and Yaoruzu. When they're changing, or whatever, Izuku, before he could even finish saying anything about them, Izuku already had a shadow tendril around his neck, picking him up. Not enough to choke him or anything. He says, if I catch you doing that if I catch you peeping at one of the girls ever again, I will not hesitate to snap your neck. This scares the shit out of the rest of everyone, except for Mina, who heard it. Well, didn't hear it because Ijiro, that's a different character, but Jiro, the one with the headphones, quirk, heard it, and Izuku says, especially Mina, and Jiro says, ooh. The Izuku kid, the green haired kid, must really like you, Mina. And Mina says, what? And he said, he saw that purple disgusting grape peeping and threatened him. If he saw whoever peeping again, else wouldn't hesitate to snap his neck. And then he said, especially me. He said, especially you. And Mina started blushing. Because she likes Izuku. Kind of. Not completely yet. Not to the point where the ship's gonna sail yet. But yeah. So then they go out to the training field after that. And Aizawa explains the quirk thingy test. And then someone says, we get to use our quirk? That's cool. This will be fun. This pissed Aizawa right off. Kind of, not really. And he says, oh, this is fun. Okay. The person in last, who gets in last, will be expelled on the spot. And everyone was shaking in their boots, except for Izuku and Mina, of course. Not because they were overconfident, or because they knew that Aizawa was lying, but because they knew that they weren't going to get absolute last, because their quirks were useful for things. But, okay now. Without getting too off track, Aizawa calls Izuku to throw the ball first because he got the highest score in entrance exam. Bakugo, of course, didn't like this because Bakugo is still an asshole. So, Bakugo proceeds to say, "How did that nerd get a higher score than me? I bet he cheated or something. There's no possible way he could be stronger than me." As he goes up to try and explode Izuku, Azawa was about to deactivate his quirk when Izuku already had Bakugo in the ground already. And Bakugo started screaming, yelling, "Let me out, you damn bastard. I'm going to kill you." And Izuku said, "Shut up already, you angry Pomeranian." And Aizawa said, "Let him out of the ground already. If he tries anything else, he'll be expelled." Izuku said, "Okay," and just pulled him out of the ground. But since he was still a little pissed off, Izuku might have, I don't know, pulled Bakugo out of the ground and by really roughly and almost almost completely cutting off the blood flow in his arms with the shadow tendrils. Just a little, just enough to leave a mark. And yes, Izuku does not like Bakugo. He's not going to be complete overboard. I'm going to rip your arm off or something like that. He only did it because he was really pissed at Bakugo. So I don't think Izuku's an asshole. He was just doing that because his Bakugo needs to learn to stop being an arrogant prick. But after that, Izuku was tossed a ball, and as I said, throw this as far as you can. Izuku activated One for All at 10% and cloaked himself in a shadow, which looked awesome. It was like he was covered in a dark fog, a black, almost a black fog with green sparks of electricity. It shocked everyone, and Aizawa knew what his quirk was. That he had one for all. Not all for one, sorry, got mixed up. And right before he threw it, it went barely far, and it says, if you use your quirk and it ends up disabling you, then you're only good for one punch. and after that you become useless. And Izuku said, "Shut up already. I fixed that problem already with my damn quirk." As I was surprised by Izuku saying this, and Izuku just grabs the ball off the ground and says, "Now I'm going to throw this again. Don't interfere." Aizawa was kind of intimidated because Izuku really knows how to scare the shit out of people. That's the one thing he's an expert at. But he throws it and he gets, let's say, well, fuck it. I'm just gonna say he gets 4,000 meters. I don't care what you say. It's like, how does he get 4,000 meters? Because he was using 100% original. That was in his finger. 10% throughout his body enhanced everything with a shadow that enhances everything. So it was more like he was using about 20% of all for one. Or one for all. Sorry, get them mixed up. And that's throughout his full body. Which gives him more. Because it's not just the tip of his finger going poo. It's also his whole arm giving it momentum. So, screw you. I don't know why I had to say that, but okay. But he then goes and he goes. Well, no, okay, no. But then he steps off this thing, and everyone's shocked about how far he got. And barely anyone got close. Not even Mina. With Mina only getting 825 meters. Even though she doesn't have any type of strength work. She's been training with Izuku. If Izuku has that type of strength, 10% or one for all, I mean. With just his shadow, of course Mina's gonna be strong, too. If they're training together. But, which pisses Bakugo off because he only got 750 meters. But no one cares about the little angry Pomeranian. Oh, whew. There. Now, I think that's the end, and then I think, yeah, I'll continue this to right now, but Izuku continues to get first place on everything except for the ball throw because, Uraka Infinite. And, You know that little grape thing? You got last place, but I'm just gonna say it's a logical ruse or whatever. That's what Ice Hour said. Because it's easier for me to remember. I mean, I hate the little grape, but I'll just forget and it'll add him back to the story anyway, so I don't care. Enough. And blah blah blah. Mina, of course, gets second place in everything. Except for the Buffalo, which she gets third place because Izuku plays second. Because, you know, whatever. But overall, Mina got second. And overall, Izuku got first. And blah blah blah. End of day. And you know what? I think I'm going to continue this later because I can. Because this is already an hour long. So, there'll be another episode on this, or part. It's not a Netflix show or Hulu, but whatever. So, see you guys next time, or whatever my outros should be. Just hope you enjoy the next video, or this video, or whatever. Even though I'm sometimes just take 10 minutes to process one thing. Yeah. Bye. Oh, and there goes what I do best. Too long of an outro. Bye.